My beloved son, my beloved daughter, listen carefully, because what I'm about to reveal to you now is not just guidance. It is a spiritual warning, and it is urgent. You need to watch what enters your house, what crosses the threshold of your door, what seems harmless but pollutes the environment, what you allow to remain even though you know it steals your peace. Because not everything that enters brings light, and not everything that seems good comes from me. There are open doors, not only physically but spiritually. Invisible doors. Doors that open with attitudes, with permissions, with negligence. Doors that open because you stop discerning. That is why today I come to call you to watch, because there are things that seem small but carry great dangers. There are voices that enter through the television, through the cell phone, through the headphones, and you don't even realize they are planting doubt, fear, sensuality, confusion. There are conversations you tolerate inside your home that do not build up, but only feed carnality, pride, and lack of respect. And I ask you, what have you allowed to feed your family? What kind of words are being spoken inside your house? What kind of content is being consumed without a filter? What music is shaping your feelings? What movies are sowing fears and impurities? What social networks are trapping you like an invisible spider web? Because everything you allow to enter remains. Everything accepted settles in. And if you do not watch, what is contrary to my spirit begins to feel comfortable in your house, begins to spread, begins to grow like weeds. And when you least expect it, harmful fruits start to appear. Baseless arguments, spiritual coldness, rebellious children, heavy feelings, inexplicable discouragement. You pray but do not feel my presence. You cry out but heaven seems like bronze. You try to find me but something seems to block you. And I tell you many times what blocks the blessing is not the enemy outside, but what you let in, what you watch, what you tolerate, what you normalize. Because a little yeast leavens the whole dough. And if you do not do a spiritual cleansing, if you do not purify the environment with my word and prayer, your house will continue to be a house occupied by what is not holy. You need to take authority. You need to rise as priest and guardian of your home. You need to declare with faith and decision, in my house the Lord reigns. In this place, only what glorifies God enters. In this home, only what brings peace, love, and holiness remains. Because whoever does not watch allows, and whoever allows invites. That is why I tell you, close the breaches, break the cycles, turn off what takes you away from me, cancel what drains your faith. Do not accept anymore what makes you sick inside, even if it seems normal, even if everyone around you says you are exaggerating. Remember, you were called to be light, not to mix with darkness. And your house must be a place of refuge, not confusion, an altar of worship, not a stage for sin, a hiding place of the Most High, not a showcase for the world. I know there are things difficult to abandon. There are habits that have become routine, programs that distract you, music that lulls you, people you love but who bring a heavy atmosphere. But if you truly love me, if you truly want to live my plans, it will be necessary to make decisions. It will be necessary to say no to what everyone says yes to. It will be necessary to turn off, erase, disconnect. It will be necessary to shield the spiritual windows of your house. Because the world wants to invade, the system wants to mold you, the culture wants to numb you. But I call you to wake up, to raise spiritual walls, to seal your house with the blood of the Lamb, just as the people of Israel did that night of liberation when the angel of death passed by. Only those who marked their doors were protected, and today I tell you, mark your house with prayer, mark your doors with holiness, mark your rooms with the presence of my Spirit. Start with the details, with what is on the walls, with what is on the furniture, with what you have collected without realizing it. There are objects that carry spiritual weight. There are memories you should have discarded long ago but kept as if they were part of who you are. And they remain there as a point of contact with pain, with the past, with wounds that I have already healed, but you insist on keeping open. There are photos that feed nostalgia for what I have already removed from your life. There are clothes that carry memories of impurity. There are books that teach the opposite of my word. There are decorations that seem beautiful but are loaded with symbols that do not come from me, and you don't even realize it. But the enemy does know. He feeds on what you allow. That is why today, with love and authority, I come to tell you, purify your house, anoint your windows, pray in the rooms, call my angels, surrender every space and say, this home is yours, Lord, every corner, every wall, every room, every heart that dwells here. Because if you consecrate, I guard. If you purify, I dwell. If you watch, I make myself present. And the peace that surpasses all understanding will come like a river over your family. Conflicts will cease. Nightmares will go away. Children will sleep in peace. The air will be light. The atmosphere will be full of praise. Tears will give way to laughter. Fear will be replaced by security. Because where I dwell, evil does not touch. Where there is light, darkness retreats. Where there is worship, hell has no voice. That is why, my son, my daughter, do not neglect any longer. Today is the day to restore your home. Today is the day to take possession of the authority I gave you. Today is the day to raise an altar inside your house. It does not have to be something visible. It is enough that it is real, that it is alive, that it is offered with the heart. Now, before your day continues, breathe deeply and look around with spiritual eyes. Not just with the eyes of the body, but with the vision of the Spirit. Because there are things that to your eyes seem normal, but to mine are points of contamination. Ask yourself, what needs to be removed? What is hidden among the shelves, in the corners of the closets, on the screens you consume, in the habits you justified with the excuse that everyone does it? How many distractions disguised as leisure ended up occupying the place meant for worship? How many programs became routine and stole the time for intercession? How many objects, gifts, memories, or symbols carrying spiritual memories and influences are planted there like invisible roots that gradually poison the environment? I call you to review, to reevaluate, to discern, not based on taste or custom, but based on my holiness. Because the serpent still prowls. He does not enter shouting, he enters whispering. He does not enter destroying, he enters seducing, as in Eden. He enters with apparently harmless conversations, with subtle questions, with promises that shine on the outside but are empty inside. And when you realize it, your sensitivity has been anesthetized, your vigilance has been put to sleep, your soul is wrapped in a fog that prevents your prayer from flowing. Son, daughter, keep this seriously. Deception does not shout, it whispers. It wears the appearance of freedom but corrodes your spiritual strength from within. It disguises itself as entertainment but undermines your intimacy with me. It comes in modern packages, speaks of evolution, tolerance, open-mindedness, but closes heaven over your house. That is why today I return to you something the world tried to steal from you: clarity. I return to you discernment. I return to you vigilance. Like a sentinel on the tower, I set you on your feet to see what approaches, to recognize what has already entered silently. And I give you a clear word: watch. Close the breach. Do not play with what weakens you. Do not negotiate your peace for fleeting pleasures. Do not tolerate what is clearly against my presence. And if you do this, if you give me space, if you allow me to purify your house, then I myself will descend with my heavenly army and guard your home as I guard my altars. I will guard your children as I keep my promises. I will guard your sleep as I guard my prophets. I will guard your routine as I guard sacred time. If you surrender your house to me, not only physically but spiritually, I will transform it into a refuge against chaos. No matter how many winds blow outside, inside there will be peace. If you surrender your children to me, even if today they are rebellious, distant, or confused, I will surround them with invisible protection. I will visit them in dreams. I will draw them with cords of love. I will put people and signs on their path to remind them who I am. If you surrender your habits, your schedules, your spaces to me, I myself will bring direction. I will organize your time. I will teach you to balance everything with wisdom. I will show you that my will is good, perfect, and pleasing, even in the details of your routine. And even if bad days come, even if anxiety knocks at the door, even if sadness tries to invade your house, it will stand firm. Firm as a house built on the rock, because I am the rock. I am your refuge. I am the wall of fire around you. I am the cloud that covers you by day and the pillar of fire that warms you by night. I am the God who walks your halls, who sits at your table, who listens to your conversations, who embraces your tears in the silence of the room. And now, as you listen to this, as my spirit begins to clearly show you the points that need adjustment, respond. Do not harden your heart. Do not leave it for later. Do not wait for another wound to make a decision. Start today. Today is the acceptable day. Today is the day of restoration. Take a step of faith, even if it seems small, even if it seems strange. Walk through your house with spiritual authority, not as one performing a ritual, but as one making a surrender. Declare my word, read the Psalms aloud, praise with your children, anoint the doors, speak to the walls if necessary, but do not allow the environment to be dominated by the silence of omission anymore. Because where there is spiritual silence, the enemy speaks loudly. But where there is praise, where there is prayer, where there is reverence, where there is fear, there I descend, there I dwell. There I manifest my glory, break the cycle of permissiveness, interrupt the pattern of distraction, tear the veil of indifference. Call your loved ones by name. Look them in the eyes. Tell them firmly, this house belongs to the Lord. Here God governs. Here peace reigns. Here the Holy Spirit dwells. No matter what was tolerated until now, no matter what entered by carelessness, what matters is that today itself, you decided to close the breaches, and I honor your decision. I rejoice in your zeal. I draw near when there is reverence, and I promise you, if your house is surrendered to me, I will guard it with my own army. And this is not a figure of speech, it is real. My angels will camp around it, and where there was oppression, there will be rest. Where there was fear, there will be confidence. Where there was unrest, there will be order. Where there was darkness, there will be light, because whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest under the shadow of the Almighty. And the shadow of the Almighty is not a shadow of doubts. It is a shadow of protection, of welcome, of eternal love. It is the shadow of the one who covers with his wings and guards with zeal. It is a shadow of shelter on hot days, refuge on cold days, constant presence at all times. Son, daughter, go, not in haste but with firmness, live with wisdom, walk with open eyes, go with discernment awakened, because your house, your very house, is the place where you live, eat, cry, work, laugh, sleep and dream. That space is sacred ground. It does not matter if it is large or small, if it has luxury or simplicity. What sanctifies is not the size of the walls, but the presence that dwells in them. And I will be there in every corner, in every closet, in every sigh, in every prayer, in every sleepless dawn, in every morning of gratitude, in every moment you seek me. I will be guarding, protecting, inhabiting you, restoring you, pouring out peace, light and life over all and everyone forever. Because your house belongs to me, and where I am and welcome, miracles happen. As you embrace this call to spiritual stewardship, consider the atmosphere you cultivate daily. Each moment spent in your home contributes to the spiritual climate. The words you speak, the attitudes you embody, and the emotions you nurture are all seeds planted in the soil of your household. These seeds grow into either fruit that nourishes or weeds that choke. Be intentional with your speech. Let it be seasoned with grace, encouragement, and truth. Your voice can build a fortress of faith or open a door to despair. Observe the rhythms of your home life. Are there patterns that subtly pull your family away from intimacy with the Spirit? Perhaps the busyness of schedules, the distraction of screens, or the neglect of shared moments have created cracks in the foundation. These cracks allow coldness and disconnection to seep in. Guard your time fiercely. Create sacred rhythms of prayer, conversation, and worship that anchor your family in unity and purpose. Look closely at the influences shaping your children's hearts and minds. Children are like sponges, absorbing not only what is spoken but the atmosphere surrounding them. Are their playthings, books, and entertainment aligned with the values you cherish? It is not enough to shield them from overt darkness. Subtle messages that glorify selfishness, materialism, or despair can be just as damaging. Choose carefully what fills their world, for it molds their character and worldview. Reflect on your own heart as the spiritual leader of your home. Are there areas where complacency or compromise have taken root? Sometimes the enemy's greatest victory is in dulling your sensitivity to what is harmful. Pray for renewed discernment and courage to confront what must change, even if it challenges comfort or tradition. Your example of faithfulness and integrity will inspire your family to follow. Consider the power of forgiveness and reconciliation within your walls. Unresolved conflicts, grudges, or bitterness act like toxins, poisoning relationships and stifling the flow of peace. Make space for honest conversations, healing, and restoration. When forgiveness flows freely, it creates an environment where grace abounds and love deepens. Examine the physical spaces in your home as well. Clutter and disorder can reflect and reinforce spiritual chaos. A tidy, intentional environment invites calm and clarity. Use your home as a canvas to express holiness, not through perfection, but through intentional care and respect for the sacredness of the space where God dwells. Invite your family into the process of guarding the home. Teach your children and loved ones about spiritual boundaries and the importance of protecting the heart of the household. When everyone understands their role as a guardian, the collective strength and vigilance multiply. This shared responsibility fosters unity and mutual respect. Be mindful of the subtle ways fear can infiltrate your home through news, conversations, or even unspoken worries. Fear is a thief that steals joy and peace. Counter it with faith-filled declarations, hope, and trust in the unseen protection that surrounds you. Speak life over your home and refuse to give space to anxiety or despair. Recognize the value of hospitality as a spiritual practice. Welcoming others into your home is an opportunity to extend God's love and blessing. However, be discerning about whom you invite and how their presence affects the spiritual atmosphere. Protect your sacred space by setting healthy boundaries that honor both your family's needs and the call to love others. Pay attention to the unseen spiritual battles that may be taking place. Sometimes persistent struggles or recurring negative patterns signal a need for deeper spiritual intervention. Do not hesitate to seek prayer support, spiritual counsel, or engage in fasting and intercession to break strongholds and invite breakthrough. Celebrate the small victories in your home's spiritual journey. Each moment of peace, each answered prayer, each act of kindness is a sign of God's presence and favor. These victories build momentum and encourage perseverance. Keep a journal or record of these blessings to remind your family of God's faithfulness. Guard the sacredness of your family's story. Share testimonies of God's work in your lives, both the challenges and the triumphs. These stories become a heritage of faith that strengthens identity and hope. They remind everyone that God is active and present even in the ordinary and difficult moments. My beloved, if this message has touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Stay connected and be the first to receive the next life-changing message that can uplift your spirit and transform your journey.